This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Lynn Winters is back, our professional of the year. Ecstatic she's joining us again here as a Reiki master, as a hypnotist. She is certified. She does so many things to help you, along with her own self-hypnosis series. There's a lot to talk about her as an author, as a Reiki master, as someone who you can trust to help get through, because she's got these amazing series of recordings, which we're going to talk about today too. But first and foremost, let me welcome you back. And please introduce yourself and company today.
Thank you very much. I'm a Reiki master and I'm certified in hypnosis. I do private hypnosis and past life regression hypnosis. There are, as she said, a series of recordings from Winter's self-hypnosis series with 7 different conditions that are quite common that it can assist people in healing.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you back here. And for today, I know you kind of want to focus on what type of holics?
A rageaholic.
Rageaholic. Well, what is that? What is that?
A rageaholic is someone who gets way too angry over things that don't seem appropriately angry and stays there a long period of time. It can also be someone who seems to only have one emotion that they experience and express, and that's anger, but the other emotions they don't visit very often. It can be someone who is like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's very, very wonderful, 1 minute and peaceful and flowing along, and then the next minute something can trigger them and they can't seem to get out of it.
Well, I mean, rage in general, that stems from probably a lot of anger in the past, present. Could it be genetic? I'm just curious because I'm just going to say something. I have a brother who's born angry, I believe. He's still very angry. My mom passed away. She was very negative Nancy, angry. And I just feel like he's been angry since he's a kid, raging. Like, is it something that's passed down from generation to generation?
That's a great question. Yes, it can be. And the way that that can happen is, and now we're going to talk about past life kind of, that when you are in the womb, whatever the energy is that the person that's carrying you and also your father is in that time period, you are not only
Okay.
getting blood and bone material and all these other things from that person, but you're getting the energy frequency that they're living in. And so it is your energy frequency sort of is inherited. And then once you become into this life, you witness and study and copy their energy frequencies, and the ways that they react to certain things is the way that you're going to react, like
Amazing.
anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry to digress, but go ahead. Tell me more
No,
about
that's
this. Go
very
ahead.
good. That's very good. The one thing about anger also is that there's anger is a great thing. It's an appropriate thing. It is something that lets us know what our boundaries are when someone crosses the boundary. It's something that communicates to us that this is an unjust situation,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's for you or for someone else. It has great value. It's part of your what I call your sacred emotional guidance system that lets you know what's really going on and how you can proceed to keep yourself the most safe and healthy and going forward. And so anger is something that's required. It is something that you need, but it often can be out of alignment. It can be triggered by things that don't seem to make sense that are actually happening.
Okay.
And when that happens, it's often because it could be pent up anger over something that you never resolved from, or something that was done to you that was so unfair and you never acknowledged those feelings with yourself or did any work to resolve them. And so when something triggers it, and it can be subconscious that you don't realize it's triggering that feeling or those memories or those unevolved or resolved feelings, that energy can build up, like the anger can build up, and then it just explodes and it seems inappropriate. And so that's what I call a charge. When you have a reaction that seems to have a charge to it, that doesn't seem
Yeah.
to make sense to the situation, then
Yeah.
know that the anger may be out of alignment.
Got it. Well, yeah. Anger is a hard thing to control, and I know people with it. Obviously, you do as well. And I believe you're going to tell us that we could really help with hypnosis, right? So
Yeah,
let's talk a little more in detail about that today, too, of course.
hypnosis can really help. So let me back up first. I I used to have a boyfriend years and years ago who was great. He was great for a really long time. And then all of a sudden, I noticed that he would get super rageful about like recycles or certain types of pillows on the sofa. And he
Yeah.
would be really angry for long periods of time. It could last between 2 days and a week. And it got so I noticed that it was a pattern, that I didn't know what was going to trigger it. I noticed that it lasted for, like I said, between 2 weeks and a week. And I thought there's got to be
Yeah.
something that would help this person who seems to have an anger that's out of alignment and that just pops up. So I did a lot of research on what kind of anger treatment that there was, or books, or groups, or anything like that. And I realized that there really is nothing for it unless you have done something to hurt someone, or in jail, or something that was extreme that was a result of your anger. Then there's like big gun material for it. But for the everyday person that lives in out of alignment with their anger, and that it impacts their life in a negative consequence, there didn't seem to be anything for them. And so that's why I wrote the script and recorded an anger alignment, so that there's something that everyone can benefit from to realign their anger. And it seems very common. And you don't have to wait until you like actually hurt someone or hurt yourself because of the anger to actually realign it into something that's appropriate and healthy and in the organic design of yourself.
Got it. Amazing. All right. Well, also, I want to hear some more stories about anger, the process of de-angertizing. I'm making up words
I
here.
love that.
That
I
was
love
just off the
that.
cuff, sorry. But really, yeah, that's what you're helping people with.
I think it's really great. I think that, and you had mentioned something about this earlier a little bit. I always ask myself, and I'm passing this on to ask yourselves, what am I doing and why am I doing it? And if it seems that you're having what I call a charged reaction, something that seems, if the punishment isn't matching the crime,
Yeah.
if something is bigger than uh, the circumstances, then it may be coming from something in the past. And the way to look at that is to ask yourself very clearly what it is that you're feeling and what you're angry at. Sometimes I have people write, I'm angry because, or angry, or I feel this, or whatever. And I have them write for a period of time, and they'll notice that in it, there's something very specific. Like I feel like I'm not heard. I'm angry because I am accused of something I didn't do. I'm angry because I'm invisible. I'm angry because this is an unfair situation and I can't express myself. Whatever it is, you'll find inside that work a theme sort of what you're angry at. And 9 times out of 10, that's going to be something that you could trace back to a specific moment in your history that you felt all of those things, but it never really was resolved. And for some reason, something in the current situation has triggered that reaction. And so that you can begin to separate yourself out from that and realize that this is the present. It's not happening now, but although that doesn't mean that you're going to um, tell yourself that it's not real. Your feelings are real, no matter what they are, whether they're appropriate or not appropriate. They're really real feelings, but that there is something to do about it and to trace it back to where it originally came. And then you can do work on a deep level, a subconscious level, to reframe that situation that caused you to have that overreaction that you're carrying forever and that you're suffering from and causing others to suffer from. There are things that you can do.
Gotcha. All right. And you want to walk us through a little bit about it? And I know you have some solutions, some tips, some tricks, and some advice, obviously.
I think that number one, which is probably the most challenging part, is to raise your consciousness to what you're feeling and what you're doing and what you're saying and why you're saying all those things and doing them. Having a consciousness and just not shoving things under the rug or excuse making for yourself. And that doesn't mean that you're bad. it means that something needs some attention. And oftentimes those circumstances surface because you're ready to do something about them. They don't necessarily surface because you're not ready. They surface because you are ready to get your attention. Everything is in your favor if you just shift your perspective. Then once you
Yeah.
acknowledge that this is an off balance condition,
Mm-hmm.
then you can begin to do something about it.
All right. Lynn Winters, if you are just tuning in here, we are joined by a certified hypnosis Reiki master. She does past life regression and she does training, so much more. And, as far as anger being our top issue today, any questions? Right?
Yeah.
What are most things that people are asking about, like how this can help and how, yeah, I mean, what are people asking?
When the topic of this comes up, it usually comes up in uh, trying to get me, who they're talking to, or whomever they're talking to validate their anger.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing either, because oftentimes, if you trace back that built up anger cause, it was a situation where their emotions were not validated.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do need to have their emotions validated, but they have to separate it out from the actual experience they're having now. And so it's not that their feelings are not validated, but I can almost guarantee that they're going to be traced back to something that previously happened to them. And then you can like have dialogues with your subconscious during that time and reframe it for yourself. You can do writing and have a dialogue with that person that would be fulfilling to you, of expressing yourself and the unfairness of it without having to have that person there. There are lots of techniques that you can do to address the cause. And then when you get done doing that work and you go back to the present, you're not going to have the same emotional charge attached to the present circumstances as
Got
you
it.
would if you hadn't done that work.
Interesting. Well, tell us a little bit more about, some of the techniques that you're able to use on people, how you've seen it help people with anger, and kind of walk us through, what it's like to be on the other side and, you working on a client and what they've gotten out of this, in the new habit, the new change, the new life, by not being angry in a sense.
Yes, and it is an adjustment to get used to. I think that people um, who have an anger misalignment have a lot of guilt for it.
Yeah.
And guilt doesn't really serve anything. I have a perspective that there's a lot of really good in a lot of people, almost every person. Every once in a while, I'm sure that there's someone that's not their intention. However, I really think that people are good, and so if once they have gotten their alignment traced back to
Yeah.
why they're angry, the original source, and they have done the work on understanding what kind of, I call it the flavor of their anger. Is it that they're not heard? Is it
Yeah.
they're betrayed? There's a flavor to it, and they get in touch with that, and then they can come back to the present situation and feel how they feel. That then they're going to feel differently. It doesn't mean that it may not have been something to be angry for, but it's not going to probably have the same charge as that. Then they can learn how to communicate, is really important, with the anger after they validated their own feelings, after they've brought it back to the present. They're going to open their heart, and when they have to communicate that they're angry, and that's really appropriate and very important. Most people don't know how to actually communicate conflict or anger. I think that if we communicate honestly of what we feel and what we need in the way that we would like to hear it, if someone's telling us the same thing, that will help put it into a language that can be heard, because you want to be heard, and people are not going to hear something if it's put in a blaming you format. If you put it in a format that's more like, when you such and such, I feel this,
Yeah.
that you've validated your own feelings, you've expressed exactly what it is that is uncomfortable for you. And
Yeah.
people have generally good hearts. And when they hear the impact that it's had on you, because they have good hearts, they don't want to be that person. They're going to be more inclined to
Yep.
apply what you've said and adjust their behavior. And if they don't adjust their behavior, you've at least done everything that you can, and you can choose to either be with that or not.
All right, Lynn Winters, what else in store for us today? Joining us live today, by the way, where are you in the world so people
I'm
know?
in the Finger Lakes. It's very beautiful here today, by the way.
It must be. I could imagine, right? Such a gorgeous day. Do you get a nice breeze? Do you get a lot of wind up there from being near the lakes, or that's just
It is intense. We do get intense wind and intense storms at times, but of course I like the drama.
got it, got it,
Yeah.
got it. All right. And what else? Anything, other suggestions for anger, what we could do? I mean, I know you have your own self-hypnosis series. Is that something you wanted to kind of add on to,
Yeah,
help
the
people with?
recording anger alignment. The reason I call it anger alignment is because it's not about getting rid of anger, it's about realigning it into the design that you were given. Anger
Mm-hmm.
is very important, and it will help take you through uh, the causes and reprogramming and what information you may get from that, and realign by opening your heart and learning to communicate. It's really a loving, compassionate realignment. It's
Yeah.
not shaming, it's not blaming. Blame is never a good thing. The way to heal yourself is really more about self-examination than it is about changing the exterior.
Good for you. And, with your company, I know you're working by, virtually, do in person as well. And there's so many other benefits of what you do for those with anxiety, those who want to stop smoking, those who want to lose weight, those who want to gain more confidence, right? Pain management. There's a lot that this work can help you and be so beneficial. Now, just curious when it comes to anger, like, I don't know if there's scales like on what how many sessions you need compared to something else. I know everybody's different, but is when it comes to anger, is that something that's so deep rooted that it may take a little longer to work and a few more sessions?
I think that we have to remember that we have repeated the same
Mm-hmm.
pattern and energy frequency over and over and over. And so it depends on a couple things. Number one, the level of will that you have to change yourself. And I've said this before, if you are in a state that I call the enough state where you just cannot take any more of what you're
Yeah,
doing and you're willing to do whatever it takes, that's the strongest power that you have, and to hold that commitment to yourself. And if you fall off the wagon on that, it's not something to feel badly about. What you want to focus on is the victory that you got back up, and that you're even more committed because you learned something about what may trigger you and threw you off, you know, and that's very, very important. The reason that I recorded these 7 different recordings for the different conditions is because I wanted to contribute to a possibility for people to be the best they can be, to have the help that they need in an affordable way, and put it into a life friendly situation so that anytime that you need it, anytime that you raise your consciousness and you realize that you're not who you really want to be or the way you want to be, then you have access to something. You can put it in your phone. You can sit down in the privacy of your house to listen to it. So, as far as how often, how much do you want to change, and how long will it take for you to be the person that you know you are? That's how long it takes.
got it. All right. And what else about the work you're doing did you want to share? Did you want to talk about any of the group sessions you're doing, the wisdom circles, and other benefits of what you can do here with self-hypnosis and past life regression?
One thing that I'm also doing is our group Reiki sessions and group hypnosis sessions, because they offer a more affordable way of accessing those things instead of private sessions. And also, the support of the energy of the group is a great thing. I'm also offering one on one consultations that you can
Hmm.
do with me through Zoom, and it can be about any topic. If you even just want a different opinion about something that you're mulling over and over and over again, it can be for that. If you want something that's more specific for an issue that you're working on, then we can talk about that also. And you can reach them on Keuka, that's KEUKA, energyarts.com, and sign up for those. Ask me anything.
Perfect. And what do you have planned for the summer? Is this like a busy time for you? Do you take some breaks, vacation? I know you're also into meditation, which is something we never really talked about, but what happens for the summer months?
And the summer's pretty busy for me because number one, when you live upstate, the weather has a lot to do with how you're living and what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I also, in addition to doing my Reiki trainings and my hypnosis and all of those things, I am writing a show and directing the show for the summer for the 6 weeks. So I'm pretty busy at the
What
moment.
show? What show?
It's called American Playwrights, and it's through Community School of Music and Arts.
Oh
I'm
my
designing a
gosh.
theater program for them and created a show that I'm directing this summer. So I'm pretty busy. Going to rehearsal next Tuesday.
Impressive. That's exciting. Oh my gosh. Wow. You got a lot cut out for you. Do you use like meditation to help with that, like to de-stress, or you're just used to a lot of this type of work?
And as a matter of fact, I start every class and rehearsal with a little meditation for them so they can get in alignment and just leave the world behind.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's good to know. Is there any tips you want to give us on meditation right now? Like what can we be doing what should we be doing every day? Really?
That's a really good question. I just had a client before this podcast who is just beginning to be learning how to stop and slow down. And I said to her that I feel that life helps us and encourages us to do that. Like, for example, if I'm walking through a room and my shirt gets caught on something, I know that that is a sign for me and a gentle reminder that I need to slow down and be in the present. So look for those little synchronicities that may seem annoying at first because they're disrupting this 200-mile-an-hour speed that you're living at. But if you find that your shirt is catching on something, you find that you're waiting at a stoplight longer than you think you would like, those are little ways that they're supporting you to slow down and just be in the present.
Oh, thank you so much. All right. If we want to reach out to you, tell us the website, the contact information. Thank you again.
You're welcome. It's Keuka, Keuka, energyarts.com.
Perfect. And we got to do a little meditation, a little relaxation for the summer. And I want to thank you for being here. As always a pleasure speaking with you, Lynn Winter. So organized, so professional. And, don't forget there's so many other benefits that she can help with. And in the energy world of helping you control, I know you talked about controlling the monkey mind in the past, which, right? A lot of
Yeah.
us have that monkey mind, but there's always room to grow, room to help. And as certified, and being certified in hypnosis and in energy as a Reiki master, clearly you're doing a lot to help people. So thank you. Anyone needs a Reiki master, she is here and ready and willing to help. Don't forget about the Winter Self Hypnosis series as well. And thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great day, Lynn. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.